It's a very sunny day here in late September, and we are back with my beautiful poinsettia. We're just halfway through the 8-week process of turning it red for Christmas, or at least triggering it to turn red for Christmas, because it does take a while, and that's why we're starting so early. By starting when we did, which was last month, 4 weeks ago, we're going to have it really, really bright and beautiful just in time for Christmas. Or well in time for Christmas, I should say. So I want to show you what's been happening now. I've been covering this gorgeous guy here every night, every evening at around 6 o'clock, and then removing the covering at 8 o'clock the following day. So giving it 14 hours of darkness, and then putting it out here into this really, well, he's actually stays here the whole time. I just cover him and then uncover him. So he's out here in this really, my brightest room, lots of sunshine. He's a really tropical plant. He comes from South Africa. And he just really wants to have lots of beautiful sunshine. So I want to show you the progress. So far we can see that there is some red happening. It's a slow and steady process, but it is starting to work. There's lots of beautiful coloration here. Kind of burgundy colors. I just think the leaves are so gorgeous. So I'm going to continue with the covering every day, every night, giving him that 14 hours of darkness for the next 4 weeks. And I'll show you how that goes. And then after those 4 weeks, he'll actually be well triggered and well underway of getting red, and then he'll just continue going. But we'll have some catch-up videos and see how they go. If you do want to see the whole process, I did a video last month showing how I started this off, and I'll just add that video into the description so you can see exactly how I went about trying to get him started. It's triggering him to get red. But yeah, it's definitely working. What I do is I also tend to keep him really well watered. He does not want to dry out completely, so I give him about a drink every day pretty much. Not too much. He doesn't want to be sitting wet, but he wants to have a drink so he doesn't dry out. He's using so much energy to produce all these beautiful leaves and grow and produce these colorful ones. So he does really need to keep moist. And once a week, I give him a little bit of fertilizer too. I just think that's going to really help him as well bush out. And I just use it with sort of well-balanced one, sort of Miracle Grow. And today I want to give him a bit of Epsom salt. I don't do this very regularly. I do this, like I did this last, I think was back in May, or maybe actually March, I think it was. So we're in September now. So I haven't done it for a while. But I'm going to give him some today. Just 2 teaspoons. I'll show you what I do just now. Epsom salts are something really useful for the poinsettia. It really does actually help them, especially if they start having yellow leaves or something, but that's more for later on in the year, which is why I gave it to him back in March. But it does really feed him. I can show you the back of this box. So yeah, the first thing it says, the benefit is that it prevents leaf yellowing, but it just really, encourages strong and vibrant leaves, as it says, and it also gives a healthy new green growth. And of course we just need lots of growth right now, so it's a perfect thing to give him. Because he's in a pot, he just does need extra nutrition than he would if he was outside, where he can get nutrition from all kinds of places. This guy, he only gets what we give him because he's in a pot. He's sort of trapped. So I'll just show you how much I'm going to give him. It's just like a nice little sprinkling of these crystals. They're not actually salt, but they're just called Epsom salts, so it's not to be confused with regular salts, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to get that one and crush that crystal up a bit. So that's pretty much what I'm going to give him. He's only little. Well, it's only a little space, so you don't just like overfeed him too much. And then, I think you can actually see what I was doing, but I'm just going to make sure that everything is sort of equally spaced out, sort of dug in a bit. This is a special spoon I use just for feeding, so it's not like something I'm going to eat with later on. So there we go. And then I'm going to water that in with a bit of water, his daily drink. And I think I'll also just show you something else at the same time. This is his little baby. It was a cutting I took last year when a bit broke off actually. And it's doing really well. I showed last month again when I did that update, then I showed how I repotted him. And he's been going in and out of a cupboard, because that's the other way you can also get him set up for Christmas. It's if you have a dark cupboard somewhere, you can just pop him in there, and that will keep him in the dark for those 14 hours and then take him out every morning. But the only reason I can't do that with the big guy is because he's just too big to fit into a cupboard. And so I'll give this guy a little bit of Epsom salts too, because it's always good to give them both the same things, and I know that they both had it, otherwise it can get a bit confusing. So not too much, just a little bit, just a little sprinkling down there. I'll just help them. And I'm not going to give them the Miracle Grow this week then. This is just their weekly feed. So there we go. And I'm just going to water that in as well. But yeah, they're doing really well. And it's about all the care they need this month. And we'll see how they go for next month. I'll do another update, and hopefully he'll be even more red by then. And so there we are, there he is. Big guy. I mean, the one thing I also want to mention is that when you are covering him up with blanket, the blanket can weigh him down a bit. And so if you look up here, you can see that the leaves are kind of flattened, the top's kind of flattened. But because we're doing it so early on in the year, by the time it gets to be Christmas, we're not going to be covering him up anymore after another 4 weeks. And so he'll definitely grow out, bush out, and just look completely normal and just really beautiful and bushy. So that's it for this month, and I will see you next month. Do let me know how it's going with your poinsettias, if you're trying to turn them red as well. If you have any questions or any comments, please let me know. And do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And anything you want to talk about, let me know, and I'll see you next month. Until then, happy gardening!